How to use a HELOC to build wealth the smart way. Most people with home equity are literally sitting on a gold mine and they have no idea how to use it. In the next 5 minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how to turn your home equity into a wealth building machine that could add hundreds of thousands to your net worth. Let me be crystal clear. A HELOC is not a vacation fund. It's not an emergency credit card. When used correctly, it's one of the most powerful wealth building tools available to Americans right now. And most people ignore it completely. Here's what you need to know. First, HELOC stands for Home Equity Line of Credit. Think of it as a second mortgage that acts like a credit card. You borrow against the equity you've built in your home, and you only pay interest on what you actually use. Right now, HELOC rates are sitting around 8 to 9% depending on your credit and lender. And that's the key to everything I'm about to show you. Let me give you a real example. Say you own a home worth $400,000. Your mortgage balance is $250,000. That means you have $150,000 in equity. Most banks will let you borrow up to 80 or 85% of your home value, minus what you owe. So in this case, you could potentially access $80,000 to $100,000 through a HELOC. Here's where most people mess up. They take that money and blow it on cars or vacations. Don't do that. Here's the actual strategy. Part 1. The setup. Open your HELOC while you're still employed and your credit is strong. Rates are locked in, and you control when you actually draw the money. This is critical. You might not use it immediately, but you want the option available. Think of it like insurance. You're securing access to cheap capital before anything changes in your life. Many lenders right now are offering draw periods of 10 years with interest-only payments initially. Some are even offering 0% for the first few months. Lock that in now. This takes about 2 weeks and costs almost nothing. Part 2. The strategy that actually works. Once you have your HELOC set up, here's the move. You're going to use it to fund tax-advantaged investments. Specifically, a backdoor Roth IRA. If you make too much money to contribute directly to a Roth IRA, you can fund a traditional IRA with HELOC money, then immediately convert it to a Roth. You're maxing out Roth contributions at $70,000 per person per year if you're married. Let me show you the math. If you borrow $50,000 at 8.5% interest from your HELOC, your interest cost is roughly $4,250 per year. Meanwhile, that $50,000 sits in a Roth IRA invested in the S&P 500 through VU or SPY. Historically, the S&P returns about 10% annually. That's $5,000 in gains per year. Completely tax-free. You're immediately ahead by $750. And that gap keeps widening as compound interest is its thing. Over 20 years, that $50,000 becomes roughly $330,000 inside your Roth. Completely tax-free. Your HELOC interest was roughly $85,000 total. You came out ahead by nearly $250,000. And you paid zero taxes on that growth. This isn't theoretical. This is actual math that works right now in 2024. The key is that your investment returns need to exceed your borrowing costs, which they historically do. Part 3. The reality check. This strategy requires discipline. You need to keep your job steady so you can service the HELOC payments. You need to actually invest the money, not spend it. You need to be comfortable with market volatility knowing you still owe the bank their interest payment. This is not for someone living paycheck to paycheck. Also understand that if your home value drops significantly, banks can reduce your available credit or even close your HELOC. This happened in 2008. It can happen again. So this works best as a long-term strategy, not something you do and panic about during downturns. But if you have stable income, home equity, and the discipline to invest rather than spend, this strategy can absolutely accelerate your wealth timeline by years. The wealthy have known this for decades. They borrow cheap money backed by real assets and invest it at higher returns. Now you know it too. If this strategy clicks for you, or if you want to learn more wealth building hacks that actually work, hit that subscribe button. We're posting new strategies every single week. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Word count 847.